Alright, so let's go over this one. I'm on packet 12.6, page 904. I have this equation here, says f of x, parentheses, x minus 1, x plus 3. We've actually seen something like this before. This is called factored form, or intercept form. And you'll notice that they're already in parentheses. You won't see a power of 2 here. Previously, you saw that in standard form, right? ax squared plus bx plus c. You saw in vertex form, a times quantity x minus h squared plus k. But here, there's no power of 2, so this is your hint. I'm going to write the form above it. You just took down notes on this. A is in front of the parentheses, so you have x minus p and x minus q. Okay? So I gave you guys some steps. Step number 1 tells you tell whether the parabola opens up or down. Well, my parabola opening up or down is based off of my a value. And it's really hard to see in there. But if I had to put a number, what number would you guys put here? 1. 1. If a equals 1, we've seen this over and over again. How does it open, class?
Up.
Opens up. It's positive, opens up. Okay? Now the next thing we need to do is find our x-intercepts, or zeros. Let's write that here. Your zeros are the same thing as your x-intercepts. Well, you might ask, how do you do that? Well, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to do the zero product rule. Around the side. That's a z, zero product rule. If you've done this before, you're just going to take your equation here, and you're going to set it equal to 0. 0 equals x minus 1, x plus 3. The zero product rule says when I multiply these, one of these has to be equal to 0. So all you do is you set one of these equal to 0. And then you just solve. Add 1 to both sides. X is equal to
1.
Positive 1. And over here, if you subtract 3, x is equal to negative 3. So here, I use the zero product rule to help me find my zeros. Okay? When x is equal to 0, I'm sorry, when your y value is equal to 0, you got 1, and you got negative 3. So we'll graph those in a second. So I got my yellow, I got my green. Now I need to find my vertex. Okay? To find your vertex, you use the axis of symmetry. And the axis of symmetry has an equation you guys just wrote down. P plus Q divided by 2. Okay. This is where the form comes a little bit different. You solve for your P value. Your P value is 1. How did I get 1? Well, there's a couple of ways I just did it. It's basically where you graph these 2 points. And your Q value is negative 3. So basically you're finding the average of these 2 points. So I have 1 plus a negative 3 divided by 2. Class, what's 1 plus negative 3? And negative 2 divided by 2. So my axis of symmetry is going to be x equals negative 1. Okay, now I want you to notice though, axis of symmetry wasn't one of our options here. But your axis of symmetry is just your x value. We're going to plug that in and find a y value. Let's do that. So to find my y value, you can just use function notation. So every x there, we're going to write, I should have done that in orange. Do it again. X is -1. I'm going to put in for every one of those values. Okay, let me rewrite it. F of x equals x minus 1, x plus 3. And every x value, I'm going to write -1. So f of -1 equals -1 minus 1, -1 plus 3. And I just go about simplifying this. Class -1 minus 1. So that's going to be -2. And -1 plus 3. +2. And then -2 times 2. So I'm going to have f of -1 equals -4. When my orange value was -1, my output, or what I get, was my answer is -4. So I'm going to go ahead and write that here, -4. Now, finding your y-intercept, go ahead and cross that off. It is difficult to find the y-intercept for a factored or intercept form. If you wanted to, you would basically make your you're going to make your x equal to 0. You don't have to. I made a mistake on these. That should have been 1, 0, -3, 0. Okay, let's go ahead and graph this. Let's use all of our clues. I'm going to start with the vertex. -1, -4. This one has some tick marks, so we're just going to use it. Left 1, down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you'll also notice that this is x equals -1. So this is kind of like my axis of symmetry right here. You can put a line down there. I'm now going to graph the points x equals 1 and x equals -3. So you can put x equals 1. This is the same order pair as 1, 0, and x equals -3. These are my zeros, or my x-intercepts. I want you to notice that when we did the axis of symmetry, when you added those two and divided by 2, it's basically taking your 2 from zero product rule, taking those 2 points, and just finding the midpoint. What's the number that's in the middle? Well, that's x equals -1. And then graphing up. And that's how you graph in factored form.